Hi, this is Shane Starr, and today I want to talk about NI, or introverted intuition problems. Now, the video was inspired by a live event I did with another Majestic INFJ in which we explored possible testing for polar functions, but from an MBTI perspective. I've said for a long time socionics and MBTI are not the same systems. But still, since many of us try to correlate across the board and make yourself be the same type in both systems, I felt the need to sort of explain myself, because in typing with famous people's system, I came out as ISTJ, which traits based makes sense. I'm socially introverted, at least. I am a sensor over an intuitive. I'm a thinker over a feeler. And I strongly prefer structure and organization and judging as opposed to spontaneous, freewheeling, perceiving types. So, from a traits point of view and MBTI perspective, I think that typing makes sense. Not so much in socionics, and here's why. We could have talked about FE, where I scored as my polar function in typing with famous people's system. I wouldn't score that in MBTI so much because it's more about personal expression and emotional management as opposed to groupthink or putting other people first like it does in MBTI. Okay, so the more interesting side of this to me comes with introverted intuition. And to start with, we should just go over the definitions really quickly. You know, in MBTI, introverted intuition is about your inner world of thoughts, your ideas, patterns of events, connections between ideas, the big picture, the purpose of everything, the future, our gut feeling, our knowing without being able to explain something, you know, abstract ideas and concepts. That's what inverted intuition is, introverted intuition is in MBTI. Is that a strong point for me in MBTI? No, but neither is it my single worst function out of all 8 of them either, because my experience of abstract ideas, I majored in philosophy and theology. I still do academic work at the University of Notre Dame in theology up to the present day. I've always been a thematic thinker when it comes to film or stories. I'm always thinking, what is the overall big picture lesson we're supposed to get out of this? So, I could say from that perspective, NI is definitely not my polar function. However, socionics defines it differently. If you look up Wiki Socion, which I think is a primary authority in socionics, along with World Socionics Society and sociotypes.com, there's one big word that is pretty much missing in the MBTI description, and that is time. Introverted intuition in socionics is all about time and one's management with time. So, am I bad with time? I'm never late. I'm never late for anything. I make sure that I'm not late. I always finish my tasks on time. I always make sure I'm on the clock, like first one there, last one to leave. And so one would think, okay, so you're not so bad with time after all, as opposed to someone who's late all the time and loses track of time, that kind of thing. But I think the definition lends itself to something deeper here, and that is a correlation between time from a macrocosm perspective as opposed to a microcosm perspective, like being on time for things. From a macrocosm or big point of view in one's life, I'm thinking of time as in the difference between yesterday and last year at this time versus 5 years ago versus 10 years ago versus 20 years ago. And our relationship to time as it relates to comfort, anxiety, calmness, hurriedness, are different perspectives of time. And when we speak of those aspects of time and time as the primary aspect of intuition, then indeed it is very weak in me because, for me, time is a great mystery. Whatever's right now seems to stretch in the past and to the future forever. Like, in a way, I'm the exact same person as I was when I was 4, and I remember lining up my toys and putting them into different categories, according to color or according to function. Like, here's the cars, here's the trucks, here's the vans, here's the yellow, here's the whites, here's the blacks, stuff like that. And I remember being so proud of my structure and order as a little kid, and I still feel like I'm the same person now. I still get pleasure over crossing things off my to-do list and stuff. And when I think of time in this sense, it's very difficult for me to have this linear approach like I have with everything else, where I can see the progression from point A to B to C to D and so on. Time to me, it's like just one big canvas, and maybe we occupy different parts of it in different parts of our lives, but it seems ever present to me. And I always thought of this as being an advanced concept of time, but in reality it's weak because I can't see where I'm going compared to where I am compared to where I've been. It's always contextual in the moment right now, and right now stretches past a million times and in the future a million times. And while I can see differences and changes in myself, I can't pinpoint how those things led from one stage to the next. I know they did, and I know I pre-planned things to a fault, but again, it's all a mystery to me. So when I think about introverted intuition, and is it a strong function for me? No, not in either system. Is it a weak function for me? Probably yes. Is it my polar function? Definitely not in MBTI, but in socionics, I can't think of a better candidate for it. The only overlap I see in these two different conceptions of introverted intuition is really about the future, and one's feeling and premonition and maybe predictions about the future. And even then, I don't get a strong sense of it. I predict the future because I know what's happening in the present, and I know what has happened in the past. Besides using the past and present to reference the future, I'm clueless. And so that's my little treatment on NI problems, and that's why you will hear me refer to myself as an ISTJ on the one hand, or a probable LSE on the other hand, even though those are not the same types. That explains what I was trying to do in this video. Okay, let me have your thoughts, if you have any, in the comments, and until then, see you next time.